Hello, now then, welcome back. This is episode 8 of our Emberpelts playthrough on the Hiding from the Rainstorm map. We are currently moving our way towards the bad side. If anything, the last 2 episodes have been about, you're probably aware that this is probably going to be quite bad for us, or at least in the short term. Let's just take a moment to remind ourselves of this incoming pain. So, last time, or the time before that, we put in these nice pretty little levees here to stop bad water from dropping on these guys' heads, because as ever, while most beavers like to be wet, these guys do not. So bad time rolls in, and a bad time was had, and everyone got covered in it, and we had about 22 beavers that were ill. So we started then to build double height, and that's about as far as we've got. In the 3 days, we are not going to get that fixed, but we will need to deal with any ramifications of our decisions to not rush this through. We're also running out of wood, which looks like there's loads, and there is quite a bit, but the oaks that were up here are pretty much gone, so our current glut of logs of 4 ain't going to last us too much longer. Probably going to have to send them in to start cutting down these underneath here and dealing with other bits. We did start putting in this area here that's going to become our forestry, but as you can see, we are a delta on planks. So, these removed, these need to be cut. I think we need to get more people in it, but we are quite short of jobs. As it stands, there are 13 vacancies all over the map. So, today is going to be a case of trying to fix this without killing all the beavers, which should be doable from higher up without too much of a problem. We're also going to plant some trees, which we don't have the jobs for. And all that without getting more beavers contaminated. We do have quite a robust way to sort of depillage these guys. It works, but having like 22 of them out for the count ain't good. So, that said, let's enjoy these last 2.8 days. There's the chime. When we get too close, we are going to have to do a bit of work to just slam these down, because it can't technically cope with the throughputs, which is kind of my bad, because I did it. But as long as we have enough of everything, we should be okay. Water-wise, we're alright. We're not too... well, there's not too many beavers, in which case this is going to be an issue. And again, this is normal mode, so we don't have like 300,000 year worth of bad tide or droughts to deal with, which is probably a good shout for this first time in the Emberpelts, because I'm not sure, although most of the water's mechanics is fine, it's these juices that confuse out of me. Looks like we've got some beaten radish juice finally being produced, and that's looking good for them. So, where were we? Our builders were, of which we have a lot of them, are currently running around doing, I don't know what. Probably, apparently they're starving, but I don't believe them for a second. You're getting logs, I see. Okay, so, yeah. We are kind of stuck for beavers as it stands, so let's see, what can we deal with to close this off? So, don't think we need to worry about that just yet. Let's pause these guys, because we're kind of full. The automated ones will continue to run as well as they can in a bad tide. They're all paused, they're all paused. We do need to leave this running so we can have the kiln going, because we need the charcoal for a variety of stuff at this point, so it's vital that it gets done. And we're out of log storage. Probably just turn that off. So I don't think the haulers have actually the ability to get round everything, so leave that as is. Let's knock you back down to 2. These should still be on 2, which they are. You're bored, but I need you to stay bored. Alright, let's just begin this. So with that down, that one should be okay to stay up. Hopefully that stays blue. These need to be set to auto, so they will do that. They just need to be set to open. Alright. Just see how well they get along with this. Alright, so here we go. So we seem to be alright on this side. There is no spillage, which was a problem. We're not overturning anything onto this area that we wasn't expecting. Once this is put in, we should be able to see what the splashback's going to be like from this. That seems like too high is the future. It looks to be a bad source over there. Oh yes, because there's a... Just zoom down ever so slightly. There is one water source hidden in here, so that's okay. That's understandable. Okay, so... I think we need to wait for some of these guys to grow up. How many have we got coming in? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 definitely coming in, and some not too far away. This stayed mostly blue. We lost this bit of wheat, but I think that's okay. Mercilessly short. Got no one in here, which is fine. No one in here, which is less than fine. We have managed to do this though, so this is exactly what we wanted. This was the last thing we did last episode to do this. Let's just... K for Kaboom is back. It's now the unique option on the keys because they changed everything. And looks like this is doing its job to stop contamination. If we're going to make the most out of these trees, we probably need to plant some more of that. Let's just see if we can squeeze some underneath here. Something like that. See how long that takes them to get around to. We don't have the stuff for it, but it's fine. That needs a path. Not that we have the beavers. You can't cut everything up there. You can do everything there. So we just need to sort of finish laying these in. So if we put one here. You can get to everything on that side. And then up here. Can't reach everything there. It's a bit of a pain, but that's fine. We'll maybe put one on this side as well. Let's just say goodbye to that then. cool. Looks like that's coming in nicely. Looks like we can plant some trees as well. So, oak me all of this, please. Oak me everything. Except maybe down in the pit. We don't need that. I can reach some of it, I suppose. But we are just going to lay down all the oaks that we can muster. Whether it's reachable or not, it will save us time later. They won't be able to plant any of these. Unless we do that. That should sort them out. We have a bit of a leak here, so let's just tap that in like so. We probably didn't need these. This will probably be a problem as well. And let's just... I believe the theory is if we do that, it will fix the problem. Okay, so they're ripping through that quite nicely. I am tempted to see what happens if we just close these. Not that it really matters at this point, because the bad tide is over. So that seems to cope okay. I just need to get this bit done. Logs are somewhat keeping up. But I think we're going to have to lay in yet more housing, so... let's just start with a baby house down here. Gives us some. And then let's just put the old stilts up. I do believe everything should be now clean and clear, so we can try and make this somewhat drought-proof by slowing the water down on its exit to 0.9. It will probably have a little bit of an issue with that, but should sort itself out pretty quickly. Okay. If that does work for us, we can leave this alone for a bit. Because the plan for these, which I mentioned in the last episode, is just to cap all of these off, impermeable floor it, and then it'll be somewhat pressurized and let out the good stuff, and the bad stuff can just scoot out the end. Might take a while though. Let's just worry about defense option number 1. Okay, so they got this house in, so there are still no beds, and we still have no available beavers coming up anytime soon. Okay. How are other bits and pieces doing? We have not got any tomatoes. Is that because we have not got any up here? That's beets, that's radishes. We really need to connect these two networks as well. It's the easiest way we can do this without too much fuss. Probably just scoop this all along here. There, in fact, rather than that, because you can't put it straight into a front door because they're not going to be able to get out of it. So that's makes some sense. We are going to have to rejig this though, because we're not going to be able to fill that with water if we carry on how we're doing this. So let's do that. Rip that guy out. And we can at least chuck in that bit. And this bit is not very well designed. Nor this bit. So, we need to get them across. So the easiest way to do this is to just bite the bullet. Connect that up. And you guessed it, stairs. Our good friends. Maybe not that one though. Ah yes, it was this weirdness that we had before. Let's just... That keeps it happy enough once that's in. We'll just have to do the same on this side. It does need fixing, desperately. In fact, what would have probably been easier is just to run a whole new tubeway this way. Get rid of this, which I think was the plan. There's nothing in it, so let's do this then. Let's fix this. Power just to nudge these in an appropriate direction. Thank you very much. Oh, there's some there, isn't there? Right. Why is it always? Goodbye. You've failed me for the last time going where I want you to go, so... You can be yeeted into the void. Thank you very much for your efforts. You are now surplus 2 requirements. If we were to rip this out, we would... block access to nothing. Just pause all this a second. That should be a better use of our time. Then we can get rid of all of this. We can delete all of this and stop messing about. Right. And just for funsies, connect that path back up. Then all this can be ripped out. And that makes it just a tiny bit more efficient, which is what we was aiming for in the first place. So... just to complete that, we'll chuck that in. And it's ready to go. And then we can just run another tube line this way, and then put another station somewhere over here. make getting around this area just a tiny bit more efficient. Are we out of blocks? We are out of blocks. Alright. Let's get someone in there. We do need someone on that. Thank you very much. Let's pause that so we're not wasting power. Scrap's still okay. I don't know where they're pulling it from, like, but I suppose we'll be making blocks to really worry about it. We are going to need to get someone in there at some point. And these guys can't cut that. I've made a terrible mistake. Alright. If we were to just rip those out, do it quickly so it doesn't hurt as much that we're ripping up oaks that are like a third of their way through. Not sure why that oak is not selectable. Ah, did mark it for demolition. Well, there you go. And if we were to put... well, none of that's plantable, so if we were to say... there and there, and say, this guy can live on there, you can reach all of that. And trees, be gone. I think that keeps that nice and connected for us. I'll get to that at some point when we have the stuff for it. That's finally all been ripped out, so we can plant some more oaks this way. Alright, let's leave them to that. This is slow going, but we do have production being done on this. We do need explosives. We do not. Go find something else to do. Thank you very much. And water's holding steady with the automated ones. That's a-okay. Looks like we can plant some more oaks too, so thank you very much. We can squeeze some oaks in there. Not going to do that just yet because I think we need to put in a water dump up here, which, as unideal as it is, it should keep everything nice and green for us. If we bring it off into this corner, we should be okay. Let's just lay this out quickly. We just need a space where we can fit them all in without causing too much umbrage. Yeah, we can't put it there. This guy needs to go. So let's say goodbye to you. Thank you very much. Rip me this guy out, thanks. And we should be able to lay in just that one more little thing, just yonder. I suspect our logs will look a lot healthier once this is finished, and there's not too much of it left to go, so we'll just leave them to it. I'm not gonna get them doing any more of that for now. Yeah, we're not making charcoal, that is a problem. We do need more of that. What does charcoal go in? Is it this? Yes, it is. Okay. We took this guy just down here. It's not the most ideal, but it's close enough to be okay, I think. How are these looking? A couple of days for some of them, so that's not too bad. Alright, that's laid in. Let's kaboom that and lay in water dump up here. I'm just wondering the easiest way to lay this in without making the paths too painful, so we don't lose too much of the planting area. If we were to say... fluid dump can live here. Fluid dump lives there. We could shift this guy. Let's do that, in fact. So the forester can live... That is the best place for that forester, to be honest. Promise you, we will be getting this done sooner rather than later, and then we will move on with our lives. Gets to there. That way would be better. Okay. We flip it, does it make a difference? No. No, it doesn't. Right, fair enough. We're going to have to go with that then. Not ideal, but we can then gain 4 squares back from this guy. And let's just water dump here, and we can call this sorted. Bit of waste on the back, but I think it's okay. I'll get round to that. Let's just, before we forget, plant Alcaitors up here. That can't be used, that's okay. That'll get ripped out at some point. Right, let's leave them to that. How are we getting along over here? I'd like this all picking up, please. Those planks are very useful to us. We're doing for blocks, not great. Maybe worth thinking about a giant industry. Where is it? This guy. 1,000 science, we can afford them. But again, that needs charcoal to run, so it's 3 and 0.1. Now at the time we get, so we would double our throughput if we were to rip this guy out. Bricks we have. Planks we have enough of. Blocks we do not. We'll unlock it, but we'll not put it in. I have to rejig the path ever so slightly just to fit that in, but that's okay for now. We will leave that as is. They're all good. Looking good here. We've got planks in everywhere uphill. Yes, we do. All right. Okay, we have a drought. That is less concerning. Just wondering if it's worth building something up here. Let's see, let's just say... Logs, I cannot see. Thank you very much. This may speed up some things, so let's just get that built with high priority. It's a hell of a distance for these guys to travel, but they should be fine with it. We are making charcoal again, so that's fine. Again, we're out of logs. Have you run out of things to cut? Near enough, yes. How far are these? A million years away. Fine. Pause one. Try and get someone into here. Let's just someone start cutting, please. Thank you very much. There's plenty of trees down in here that can be cut and should be cut. And we're short of just one, but never mind. Right, day and a half before the drought hits, that's okay. So we just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more blocks. And we do need to connect this area up to the tube network at some point, so I guess the simplest, most methodical method of doing that is just chucking it down here. So say goodbye to all of this. How big's this thing? It fits perfectly there. Can we get away with sticking it on top? We cannot. Okay. That increases the requirement for that quite substantially, but if we put this here, it should fit in okay. Yeah, it's alright. Just leave it there. Bit of a dead space, but it'll be fine. Just chuck in that one there. Ideally, we could do with one up here to ship some of this stuff about, but I don't think there's an easy way of doing that. 9-day drought, full length drought. That is devastating news. Okay. So that's okay up there. That'll dry out, but no biggie. You're a gatherer. You're a lumberjack. Let's just cut all of this down. We should be golden. Do we need any bad water? I think we're okay for bad water. Yeah, fine. So if that's plumbed in like so, we can't really. Well, we could. I think what we will do is not mark those. We're going to have to cut them down, but we may as well. Don't think we have a lumberjack flag up here anymore. No, I don't think we do. So let's just say goodbye to these at some point. And we'll tube it up. Now we need to build something fancy so they can actually use the tube ways up here. So maybe. Can't do anything too crazy, I don't think. Are you not happy because you're a tree? Let's just... Not because you're not tall enough. That's a shame, because that would have perfectly gone there. And we somehow need to get the tube network to go up to it. Never mind, leave them to it. This done? Yes, it is. Let's get some logs in here. We have a small amount of them, so that's not too bad. Is this done yet? No. 4, and then it's done. It is going to have to come out at some point if we're going to lay in contamination barriers. But we may just have to just jut out just one ever so slightly for this little bit here, but I don't think that's too bad for us. Don't think the haulers will put too much in here before the end of the day, but that's okay. So we don't have a lot of space, but the numbers are going up. We probably need to boost their well-being quite substantially, because we haven't done any of that for a while. And what have we got as options to us? Something that doesn't need power would be nice. Let's just see which gives us the best. The dance hall would be okay. To be fair, we could look to maybe... You need logs, which we don't have. Okay. What you said. Success Plaza is 3, but the dance hall gives us 5. Alright, so I think dance hall it is. Needs quite a lot of stuff, this. What are we missing if we were to put it here? Quite a bit. Can it fit on here? No, it cannot. If we were to put it down here, Yes. Again, this is going to be quite a while before they get to it, but I think if we snuck in a sneaky little path, the stairs down, then we could even connect it this way as well, like so, and then that would give them a nice little sneaky entrance into that. They'll get around to it eventually. There is a glut of pretty much everything that we don't have to deal with that. We have most things, but let's get that in. We've got 5 days left on the drought. What may be an idea is to also put some dams in here, just so that we can keep water in here. Keep this area a little bit greener. Get these constructed as quickly as we can. Thank you very much. We do now have access to get to a mine, which I didn't think we'd get to this early on, to be fair, but here we are. As we're going to need to get all of that sorted out pretty swiftly, actually. We're probably in about the position to try and hook a station back into this way as well. Are these done yet? Just build me these. Thanks very much. I'd like to rip those out. Don't need that anymore. Are these trees coming in? They are not, but we have space for planting, so let's chuck in some more beautiful oaks. Don't have anyone for that, but we're only down to -7, so that's, you know, not the worst possible position we could be in. Ideally there with a spot for blanks as well, so let's also chuck those in. Give me a teeny tiny spot for blanks. And again, haulers can bring me that. Yes, it's a long way for them, but when it's finished, we'll be in a good spot. And if we dam the frontage of these, then we should be able to keep enough water back here to keep this area just a little bit greener, and without relying too much on these. They do take up quite a bit of our water, but we do need people in there though. Let's get rid of these because I don't think they're a problem. In fact, I don't think we need to worry about it. There's 14 days left and we've got 2, so I think we'll be fine. So if we were to come into here, how much is a mine? Where is a mine? Bricks and extracts. We can afford it with the science. We have nowhere near enough stuff to build the thing, but I think the mine's gonna need to be prioritized sooner rather than later. Cool, so now we have a buffer for charcoal, that's fine. We are at some point obviously going to have to get into bots for this one, I think, because getting anything else is going to be a bit weird and wonderful. And we can't plant anything here. That was a bit of a miscalculation on my part also. So, what can we do about that? For now, nothing. We'll just leave it be. Same problem here. If we were to say... rip out those and do it now. Chuck this in. And if this were ladders... Oh, we also need to say goodbye to this as well. So, thanks for coming. Cheers. All the best. Goodbye. That in, this guy can plant most things. Alright. So we can now hit that area, this one less so. It's probably going to be a case of doing something similar. Once that finishes surgeons, that doesn't need to exist because it doesn't help us for anything. That does. Yep, we'll do it this way. Forester can live there. We just have to rip out those two. They'll get to that in their own dear sweet time. Okay, so I'm looking up here. Haven't got round to that yet, because why? I mean, this isn't even a priority. Why are you even building it? Actually, I suppose. It's got double whammy from these. We could probably simplify this by getting rid of this guy. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, so we've got those tiered in. Right, okay. So, is this slow because there's no one in here? No, there is. So why do you refuse to build me these? We're out of scrap. We're not out of scrap. We're out of charcoal. So why are you not building anything? You probably can't get all the bits, can you? Alright, fine. So... you need to be on obtain. You need to be obtain. The haulers get time, of course. I think logistics is a problem, so let's deal with that right now. So that is for metal blocks. You can be supply. Builders, can we do this? I assume you're doing nothing because you can't get all the stuff, although I'm not sure why. I believe you have everything, so... Ah, there's no charcoal. Okay, fine. Logs is a problem still. Yep, it's a long way for them to go. They're pretty much doing everything except this, which is weird. Don't understand why that doesn't work. So, I mean, I understand because we're out of logs. You're paused. You don't need logs, so I don't get why. And still a postcard with that one. Let's check on back in that in a bit. How are they getting on with this? Logs, okay. I mean, we have everything, so I don't get why it's a problem. Oh, finally. I don't understand. I do not understand why. I mean, there's plenty of power, so... I'm terribly confused as to why this doesn't work. Right, so let's just... we'll do it with long division and get them to come and pick up stuff. Thank you very much. Come get me all of that. It's all reachable, so that's fine. And now it seems to sort of want to work. I don't understand. Leave it alone. Stop looking at it. Watch pot never boils, etc., etc. Okay. Make sure this starts going once they get to work. It does, for one thing. Right, okay, must be a logistics thing. Is this fixed? Finally. We do need to rejig a lot of this to get rid of just this little leg, but we kind of have this giant beet storage here, which kind of stuck with. Probably going to be a case that we get our keisters down here and get this fixed. Start pulling back all that and make a decent storage area for the stuff back here. So there's quite a few trees, so let's just deal with that now. I don't think there's any decent place to put that in, but we can also lay in this here lumberjack, or a couple of them. Once that gets ripped out, which will happen probably in about 495 years. And they have done that though, so let's strike while the iron's hot to place that down. Teeny tiny tubeways can live on there. And then I suppose just to make this work, so again, 700 million years of construction later. That should be fine. Then we can rip out this path. So to be able to get up here, pretty sharpish. Down here, pretty sharpish. We just need to run something somewhere to be able to pull all that out. Can finally connect that in though. We can finally connect that in as well. I didn't think all of that can actually be oaks, but that can be planted and it can be reached, so take advantage. That can't. That can't, that can't, that can't. Nor that. That'll have to do us 11 million spots. About to have one come into the workforce, which is okay. That is set to do what it's going to do, which is fine. Do we leave that prioritised by holders? I don't think so. Just leave that to be empty. So let's also contemplate doing... Where's the grid thing? Grid thing? Grid thing. that's that quadrant done. I mean, ideally we'd put one over this side as well. Which would fit, actually. Something along those lines there. And I suppose we just need something down here. That would be all four corners covered. It may be worth saying goodbye to this, dropping down just a level with the 17 dynamite we have, and then going from there. Because then we can just reuse the area, because all it's being used for is that, so that's probably the way we will go with that. Not now, not yet. Building all of this across here is going to be quite resource intensive. Alright, 3 days for a drought. That's okay. You've got nothing to do, we can pause you. Gonna pause that guy and see how everything gets planted. If it is, we will rip him out. Scrap ain't looking too great either. Let's finish. That should mean this guy can reach all of that for now, which he can. This is on its way to construction, which is nice. I just need to wait for a million things to finish first. Not too far off there though, so once that's done, that should mean our logs bounce back. Although actually they're not looking too bad at 173. I'll take that. Rare to see it looking so healthy. We'll probably have to jump up and over as well to get any contamination barriers in. Which we can't really do there. We could just jump up and down there. That'd be okay. This side, when it gets built, this here is very much, if you get round to it. And we'll tidy up all of this as well. And we'll just have to slide it in this way if we put contamination barriers down, which shouldn't be too hard for them. Alright, so 1.3 days for this drought, and I think we're probably going to need to say we need a bit of a population boost, that's for sure. Although, this is now good. The average well-being is 19. We've clearly been here before, because we didn't get an alert saying happy days. Yeah, I can't really do much about that for the time being, because I can't put a path in, because you guys won't let me. So let's just do that and that to get you from stop complaining. Last bit here. If that gets done, that should increase efficiency. Yes, look at them go. We could have, instead of doing it this way, actually. Let's do this sensibly. I said sensibly, not stupidly. There we go. That saves us a lot more metal. That will do nicely. 5-day drought. Okay, so these are still pulled up, so we shouldn't have a problem with that. Nearly finished this, which is good to see. We could probably work on dealing with keeping this at a certain level, to be fair. Just to top off this back area with this, if we were to block these off. But we are about done. We are done, finally. So, come the next bad tide, which won't be now, but we should be in a good situation to make sure that this doesn't overspill, because these will slam shut, and the water should just pour off this end. At least that's the theory. Right, so I think we will call this episode here. We've got, well, not a lot done, I don't think, really. A lot of panic building with this. The tree farm's looking good, though. We do need some beavers to actually man the thing, though. But this is coming in nicely, so hopefully it won't take them too long to hook that in. That should allow us to rip all of this out. And worry about how we get something down here from a two-way point of view. But that's going to be next episode's problem. We also need to put in the southern quadrant, if you like, of this. So we can blast this down, rip this out, put it all back in, basically. We could start building the crossness of this, and we can start hooking in this end as well. I think it's easier to run this across the ground for now, and then worry about hooking it into that. And we'll just hook them on into there. I assume that you can have 4 ways with this. Let me just pause it a second, and then we will wrap up properly. Yeah, you can. All right, cool. It's clever enough to know. That works for me. All right, so if you have any comments that you'd like to throw my way, please put them down below. Always give those a read. Other than that, I will quit yammering, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully with a bad tide proof area. But we will see what the RNG brings our way. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.